Hey, fabulous friends, it is Coach Hudson here, and I just wanted to take a moment and talk about the elephant in the room, right? It is June. We're almost halfway through it. July is going to be here in a hot minute, which will put us exactly halfway through the year, right? And if you're like me, you probably had some goals that you wanted to accomplish this year in your business, in your life, all sorts of different things. You may be on track, you may be ahead, you may be behind. And here's what I know years ago in my life. Here's what happened to me when I was behind. And I don't know if this might resonate with any of you. I'd look up one day, I would be like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. It's just not working, blah, blah, blah. You have your little pity party. And then I would just decide, all right, well, I mean, I, why even bother? Right. Here it is. It's June 10th, right? And gosh, I'm so far behind. You know what? We'll see what happens the rest of the year. I'm just going to do whatever happens and I'll start fresh next year. I don't know if any of you have ever fallen into that trap, and it is for sure a trap because your goal does not have to be over. It does not have to be unattainable. And in fact, it doesn't really matter how far behind you may be if you are in fact behind, right? So let's talk about it. What can we do? Well, the first thing that I would have you do is, oh, I don't know, dust off those goals, dust off that business plan, take a look at it and just see where you are. A lot of us have a habit of not tracking very much. You might think you're super far behind, and in fact, you might not even be that off at all. Maybe you're even on track, and yet you're sitting here maybe beating yourself up. And maybe you are super far behind. And if you are in fact super far behind, look, tie a balloon to that thing and let it go away. You cannot control what's already happened. And knowledge is power. And if you know you're behind, you can come up with a great plan to bridge the gap, figure it out, and still hit the goal. Okay. What if you feel like no matter what you do, you can't hit the goal? Like you're so far off, you couldn't hit the goal. Does there really need to be any shame in you adjusting your goal to something that is still a stretch, still exciting, and yet in the category of attainable? There really is no shame. It doesn't matter. The point of a goal is for you to hit it, for it to matter to you. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Who cares what the other agents in your office are doing? Like, it doesn't matter. If you hit your goal and it will make you happy and it will feel more successful and bring you joy and all that fun stuff, then it's a worthwhile goal. All right. So whether it's business, whether it's personal, are you on track? Are you not on track? If you're not on track, you can't just wallow about it. What can you do to fix it? What might need to be adjusted? Are there things that you should have been doing all along that you haven't, that if you simply started, you would catch up? Guys, it's not rocket science. You can do this. So my challenge to you is just to take a look. Crack that little bad boy open. I know you don't want to really know where you are, and yet let's really look at it. Let's see where we are. And only then can you really develop a plan that would get you to where you desire to be. So I'm going to put it out there. I am happy to meet with any of you and talk about where you are in your goal versus where you would like to be and how to fix it. I can't do the work for you, and yet sometimes it can be great to have an outside perspective and just kind of somebody to bounce ideas off of. You know, the whole concept of it's not always easy to see the forest through the trees, that whole thing. So if you would like to get serious about your goals, whether they're business or personal, as long as you're willing to share them with me and you know where you're at so that I can properly help you navigate, I would be happy to meet with you and go over that. No obligation. I just like helping people. So let me know if I can help. Whether you need my help or not, please at least look at it and make a plan. And by the way, if you're on track or ahead of track, it's time for you to celebrate. And it's also time for you to investigate. If you're way ahead of your goal, maybe you set a goal that wasn't big enough. Maybe you didn't, don't get me wrong. And yet, if you're capable of that much more and you're not currently miserable and dying, well, maybe it's time to raise your goal and dream a little bigger. So I appreciate you watching. I trust you'll have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.